Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about some essential things you need for your landscape truck, things that are going to help you survive out in the wilderness and the wild atmosphere of landscaping. And these things are not landscape equipment. These things are human related things. These are landscape related things, but they're not equipment. They're not mowers, they're not trimmers, they're not that sort of thing. I interviewed my 10 best landscapers here at Main Street Mower, and I asked them, what are some things that you put on your truck that help your guys get through the day and help you do a great job? That entire list is in the description below. It's going to be really helpful if you guys just want to print that out or copy and paste that and maybe get these things to make sure they're in your truck. But if you have time, listen to the whole video, check this out. Here is the extensive list of everything you need on your truck other than equipment. Let's get started. This list is not complete. There's going to be things that you might need for your area, your climate, that maybe landscapers don't need down here in Central Florida, but feel free to fill out the comments with all the stuff you think is extremely essential or things that we missed on this list. But the first thing on the list that we think every landscaper should carry are tire plugs. Tire plugs are something that's super simple for you to install on your tire. It is a simple, round, Slim Jim style plug that plugs a hole and keeps you going. Getting a hole in your tire can ruin your day. It can ruin the cut. It could cost you thousands of dollars. If your deck starts to cut uneven because your tire's losing pressure, you're gonna scalp the lawn on one side and that can cause a lot of problems. And downtime and having to replace sod is never ideal. So a tire plug kit allows you to plug your own tire without having to go back to the shop. And it's something you can easily do in the field. These kits are sold as complete kits. You can buy them on Amazon. We sell them at our shop. You can buy them at Napa. They're around 20 bucks. They're really easy to use. You can become an expert at using one very simply. The next thing every landscaper should have is an impact gun. Some type of impact gun so that you can remove tires, you can remove trailer tires, you can remove your blades. You need some kind of power that has an impact feature so you can remove those things quickly. Trying to remove a blade with just a wrench can be really dangerous. You're gonna have a guy with a breaker bar, you're gonna have a guy holding a piece of wood, you can hurt yourself, you can hurt your fingers. It's not worth the danger. So having an impact gun, something like a DeWalt or a Milwaukee, that can zap a bolt off really quick is gonna be really important. And you're gonna need some essential sockets to go with that. 15/16, 3/4, 13/16. Those are the ones I'd recommend carrying. Make sure you have those in an impact socket. You're also gonna want a couple crescent wrenches, and you might want a basic ratchet set, maybe like a 3/4 inch basic ratchet set. You don't have to have an electric ratchet, but if you needed to tighten an idler pulley or what have you, you have all that you need. The other thing you should probably carry is something like this, a Leatherman. This is a Leatherman Wave. I've had mine for, I don't know, 10 years. I carry it everywhere. I use it every day. I've ground the tips down. I've used it to arc starters. I've used the file on it a million times. Guys, this is such an essential daily tool. You don't have to necessarily keep it on your person, but keep in your truck. It has saved me in so many pinches I can't even begin to describe them to you. You're gonna need a knife. That Leatherman would double as a knife. You're gonna need some kind of knife on your truck. If you drive over a net with your lawnmower or a rope with your lawnmower or vines that get all tangled up, it can jam up a blade and it can really stop a day. And sometimes people will just let it ride. Man, I'll just drive with this rope tied around my tires, no big deal. But eventually that rope and string will work its way into your wheel bearing, basically the outer seal of your transmission or on the seal on your spindle. And it's gonna ruin those spindle bearings or ruin that seal on your transmission. It's gonna cost you thousands of dollars. But if you have a knife with your guys and you warn them, hey, if you ever see some string tied around your stuff, just cut it off, please. It's gonna save you a lot of money in the long run, and it's a better way to upkeep your equipment. You're gonna want a rope, a nice rope. It doesn't have to be 300 feet, but if you had a nice 50-foot rope, something strong enough to pull a truck out of the mud, pull a mower out of somewhere, tie onto a tree, you guys can apply pressure on it if you're cutting it down so you can direct it in some way. Maybe you have a down mower at the bottom of a hill and you need to take your secondary mower down the hill to pull it up the hill. There's so many things you could do with a nice rope that you should definitely have one on your truck. It's an essential piece of kit. The next thing you need is some STIHL tools. Some basic STIHL stuff like a scrunch, that little orange screwdriver. But those scrunches, you want it in a flathead and you want it in a star bit. That's a T27. Those are essential pieces of equipment for all kinds of things. If your rewind breaks on the job, you could take those screws out and take that onto your mower shop to have them put new string in it. Or you could swap a rewind from one machine to the other machine. Or you could take your head off your hedge trimmer that just blew up and put it on your string trimmer so you have a hedge trimmer now. You know, there's so many things you can do with that basic STIHL tool that they give you when you buy a STIHL product, but you should definitely have one in your toolbox. The The next thing I think you should have is a pair of jumper cables. You can jump your mower off your truck, you can jump your truck off another truck, and a pair of jumper cables puts you kind of in this situation where you're not going to get stuck with a dead battery problem. You can always jump it and limp it along, get it back to a shop, and get something replaced quickly. The other thing you should have is just a spare trailer tire. A spare trailer tire is going to save you a lot of time. You know, you're going to hear me repeat that a lot. But the point of all these things is just to keep you working today. Anything that's going to stop and ruin your whole day, you should try to create some kind of backup strategy so that doesn't have to happen so much. But a spare trailer tire is something that you maybe would ask for at the dealership when you're buying a trailer. It's usually an accessory. They bolt it on the front or on the side of your trailer. It's usually an extra $150, maybe even $200. But boy, it could save you an entire day, it could save you from losing a client, and it could save your guys a lot of trouble if they're stranded somewhere. Okay, so the next thing you're probably gonna want is some type of air pump. They make them battery powered now, they make them that they plug into your cigarette lighter. It's something very simple, it's something very inexpensive. You should keep on your truck, put it in a case, put it under your seat, and if your truck tires are flat, your mower tires are flat, you don't have to go to the gas station to air it up. And if you have to plug your tire, it gives you a way to re-inflate your tire. So the electric air pump is a great little tool and piece of kit you should definitely have. The next thing you should have is a nice little pair of hand loppers. Just a little pair of loppy lops. Wouldn't it be bad to have them on your hip or something like that? It's gonna just make your finished product look so much better. Sometimes you'll be out string trimming or edging or blowing and you'll notice that random hedge, that little branch that's just growing, and maybe you missed it with your hedge trimmer, or maybe that customer doesn't even pay you to do their hedges, but if you just clipped that one piece, it could mean the world to them. It can really make your finished product look better. I think that little level of care just makes you the next step better of a landscaper. I have a lot of landscapers who wear them. They have like a little leather pouch, and man, I know that if they're on my yard and they have those with them, they're gonna take care of those little things that get overgrown, and that's gonna really be important to me, and it'll be important to your clients. So I think a little pair of hand loppers might be something you want to start practicing carrying along with you as you go throughout your day. The next thing you should definitely have on your truck is trash bags. Black trash bags. If you start pruning a bunch of things, you got a lot of clippings, people don't like those big giant piles on the end of their street. It's gonna burn their grass, it's gonna look bad for the neighbors. Just throw it all in a big black bag and haul it away with you. Take it home, throw it in your trash, right? It's your job. People are gonna love that added effect it's gonna give it. Anytime you see trash, keep those bags on you and just fill them up. These are just another level of just professionalism. It's going to mean a lot to your customer. Maybe you make a deal with them. Hey, can I leave these black bags near your trash cans and you guys throw them out at the end of the week? Whatever, you can do that as well. But keeping the black bag at least allows everything to be confined and easily transportable for either the homeowner or for yourself, and makes you look really professional and gives the lawn a nice finished product. Something that's pretty technical that I think you should carry are PVC pipe parts. Not a ton of stuff. You don't have to be an irrigation guy, but how often have you been out and you break a sprinkler head? Or maybe they have a raised sprinkler and you bump into that with your mower and you crack it. I think carrying those pieces of PVC are gonna help you stay out of trouble. You won't have to call the customer if you damage something and you know it's your fault and you're gonna have to fix it anyway. You could just go ahead and fix it and not even have to necessarily mention it. It's repaired, they won't mind. As long as you take care of it, they're not gonna be upset. But if it's something that you don't have the part for, it's leaking, you leave, they turn their sprinklers on, it's pumping water everywhere, and you have to come back with parts, it's gonna be a bad look. And you're gonna ruin an extra day. If you have a few parts on your truck, it's gonna really help you just be able to solve pretty much any problem you're gonna encounter. In the description of this video is gonna be an extensive list of all the parts I think you should carry. It's not that much stuff. It would fit in a small grocery bag almost. So not a ton of stuff and not a ton of expense, but it could save you a lot of problems. A couple elbows, a couple straight pipes, a couple T's, some glue of varying sizes. It's gonna be really helpful. So those are all some basic equipment that's gonna help you be a better landscaper. The next part of this list are things that are gonna help protect your body and keep you safe. So the first thing is good eye protection. Make sure that they are approved for impact and that sort of thing, but even just sun protection for your eyes is really important. If you're out in the sun all day staring at the sun, your actual eyes will be damaged. You'll have sun damage forever. It's like your corneas get sunburned. You don't want that, right? The next thing you're gonna want is a cooler with water. It doesn't sound that crazy, but a lot of times guys head out there, they think, oh, I'll grab a couple Gatorades at the 7-Eleven. If you're just out there sweating, you don't want your guys drinking sodas. If you're providing your team with water, your whole team's gonna be a lot healthier and happier. The next thing I highly recommend is sunscreen. You don't realize how many hours you're out there in the day, and you have no idea how many landscapers I know who have some type of melanoma or skin cancer. It's a really simple thing to to get, to have, maybe even something you want to provide for your entire team. SPF 30, SPF 50, have them put it on their arms, on their nose, on their ears, some basic stuff. They're gonna be in the sun all day working for you. It's probably important that they wear some sunscreen. The next thing is the dreaded wasps. Dreaded wasp stings or bee stings or yellow jackets are such a pain. So I would think it's important to carry some wasp spray on your truck so you don't have to resort to using gasoline or other crazy methods. But if you can equip your guys with a nice can that has a long spray, they can spray your this wasp nest down, kill them, then work in that area safely is gonna be really helpful. And it wouldn't be a bad idea to also carry afterbite just in case you encounter these wasps without seeing them. It's just a nice level of care to add to your truck, to have some of that afterbite. They can put it on that wound and it'll hurt a little less and they can continue throughout their day. And like I said, this is an extensive list that I interviewed other landscapers, things that they do to take care of their teams. And I think it's a great list. There's a couple other things here, hold on. The next thing I think you should get is a first aid kit, basic first aid kit, some Band-Aids, some alcohol, some Neosporin, something that's gonna allow you to clean up some basic wounds. You get slices, cuts, thorns, a pair of tweezers, that sort of stuff. So you can take care of your hands, your arms, your legs, your feet. You know, even just string trimming is gonna send shrapnel into your legs and all types of things. It's nice to have a little bit of first aid on hand just in case somebody gets injured. You know, I knew a guy who drove over a croquet wicket. It shot it out and punctured the guy's gut with a croquet wicket. All kinds of stuff are getting shot out of mowers. Some basic care is a smart idea to have. There's a lot of moving parts in a landscape crew and a lot of sharp things. So it'd be wise to have some Band-Aids, some gauze, some cleaning stuff so you can clean up a wound and keep going. This is kind of a controversial subject, but I think you guys would all understand. One thing that people recommend is bringing toilet paper. I'm talking for the business.
When you gotta go, you know?
Sometimes you're out there, you don't have access to a bathroom, you're on a remote site and the nature calls, right? You gotta do what you gotta do. Maybe you have a bucket set up inside your enclosed trailer, whatever you got. Maybe you duck off into the woods, but having a roll of toilet paper somewhere on your truck is gonna be crucial. Even better than toilet paper would probably be a nice pack of dude wipes. You know what I'm saying?
Show off your dude wipes clean on Dude wipes clean on Dude wipes, best clean, pants down.
Another thing that they recommend is rain gear. Full rain gear. You want something that if you get caught in the rain, you gotta finish the job real quick, just so you're not miserable, your underwear's not wet, something that can keep you dry and keep going. Obviously mowing in the rain's not ideal, but sometimes you're not mowing. Sometimes you're out there fixing that PVC pipe you broke. Sometimes you're out trimming something, whatever it is. It's nice to have a little rain gear on board just in case so you can stay going. As Lieutenant Dan says,
socks. Cushion sole, OD green. Try and keep your feet dry.
You want an extra pair of socks. You might even want an extra pair of shoes on board. Always keep some extra clothes like that are gonna be really helpful if you do get wet or just get sweaty or step in a puddle. That morning dew that gets all over your shoes. It's gonna be nice to have an extra pair of dry socks so your feet aren't wrinkly and wet all day long. The last thing on the list is pretty interesting, and it's something that's sad that we have to be afraid of these days. Fentanyl is a real thing. Maybe you're gonna be mowing some properties of foreclosed homes or in maybe a dangerous neighborhood. The possibility of coming in contact with something like fentanyl is real. And there are all types of videos and things that kind of help you explain when to recognize if you came in contact with fentanyl, but it's something that can be absolutely deadly if you accidentally do come in contact with it. And they sell an over-the-counter nose spray that actually can help prevent overdosing on fentanyl. And that's something that I heard some of my landscape customers say that they carry on their trucks just in case on property they notice one of their guys having some symptoms like he's overdosing, that they can give him this spray and it's gonna help him not die, right? The name of the spray is Narcan. They sell it at Walgreens and it's a nasal spray. It's something maybe sounds dramatic, you could put it in your first aid kit, but if you ever had to use it, wouldn't you be glad you had it? I think the spray is not very expensive. It's like $30 a bottle. And it can really save someone's life. Guys, I hope it was helpful for you. These are some basic essential tools that you need on your landscape truck that aren't things that I necessarily sell here at Main Street Mower, but things that I think you would love. These were all suggestions I got from some of my best customers here at Main Street Mower. And shout out to guys like Jonathan Tucson and Dan With and all you other guys who helped. I really appreciate your list and submitting them for me. I think these were really, really helpful. Guys, thanks for watching. If this was helpful for you, please subscribe. See you later.